Hello everyone and welcome to our group presentation. My name is Lynn and I'm from group number 4. Today we would like to talk about a topic, making decision. You may know that decision means making a choice from two or more alternatives. And here is a decision making process. This process has a step from identifying a problem to evaluating decision effectiveness. So, to be more specific, Step 1. Identify a problem. Problem is an obstacle that makes it difficult to achieve a desired goal or purpose. Every decision starts with a problem. Problem identification is subjective, and you know that identifying problem is important, but it's not easy. Step 2. Identify decision criteria. Once a manager has identified a problem, he or she must identify the decision criteria. Decision criteria are factors that are important to resolve the problem. Step 3. Allocate weight to the criteria. If the relevant criteria aren't equally important, the decision maker must weight the item in order to give them the correct priority in the decision. Step 4. Develop alternatives. The decision maker needs to be creative and he or she should viable alternatives that could resolve the problem. Step 5. Analyze alternatives. Once alternatives have been identified, the decision maker must evaluate each one, appraising each alternative strength and weakness. An alternative appraisal is based on its ability to resolve the results related to the criteria and criteria weight. Step 6. Select an alternative. Choosing the best alternative means that the alternative with the highest total weight is chosen. Step 7. Implement the alternative. Putting the chosen alternative into action. Convincing the decision to and gaining commitment from those who will carry out the alternative. Researches the environment for any changes, especially if it is a long-term decision. And the final step, evaluate decision effectiveness. The soundness of the decision is judged by its outcomes, and if the evaluation shows that the problem still exists, then the manager needs to assess what went wrong. So that is the 8th step of the decision making process. So now we will move to another part named decisions managers may make. Any managers, whenever making any decision, will follow the 4th step: planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. But today we will talk about the 4 perspectives on how a manager making decision. The first one is rationalities. It means describe choices that are logical and consistent while maximizing value. Here is some assumption of rationalities. First one is the decision maker would be fully objective and logical. Next, the problem faced would be clear and unambiguous, and the decision maker would have a clear and specific goal that knows all possible alternatives and consequences, then consistently select the alternative that maximizes achieving the goal. The next one is bounded rationality. Bounded rationality decision making that is rational but limited by an individual ability to process information. In this part, we will find out more 2 points is sacrifice and escalation of commitment. Next one is the role of intuitions. Intuitive decision making is making decisions on the basis of experience, feelings, and accumulated judgment. Intuitive decision making can complement both rational and bounded rational decision making. The final one is the role of evidence-based management. Means the systematic use of the best available evidence to improve management practice, such as the decision maker's expertise and judgment. external evidence that have been evaluated by the decision maker, opinions, preferences, and values of those who have a stake in the decision, and relevant organizational or internal factors such as context, circumstances, and organizational members. Now, I will move to another part to show you more kinds of problems and decisions. The first one is structured problem and programmed decision. Structured problems are problems that are straightforward, familiar, and easily identified. Programmed decision means a repetitive decision that can be handled by a routine approach. We will know more about procedure, rule, and policy too. The next part is unstructured problem and non-programmed decision. Unstructured problem means problems that are new or unusual, for which information is ambiguous and incomplete. Non-programmed decision is unique and non-recurring and involve custom-made solution. The final part that I will show you is decision-making conditions. In this part, we have 3 points that are certainty, risk, and uncertainty. To be know more about this part and another part, I would like to introduce you my partner, Coulter.
This code and I will continue to present my part, which is about decision making styles. And the first feature I want to show you guys is about the linear and nonlinear thinking style profile. As we may know, the way a person approaches decision making is likely affected by his or her thinking style. And through recent research done with different groups of people, the thinking style reflects 2 things. The first one is a source of information you tend to use, and the second one is whether you process that info in linear or non-linear way. These aspects are collected into 2 sides. The first one is about the linear style, and the second one is about the non-linear thinking. A linear thinking is about a preference to use external data and facts, then process the information through the rational and logical thinking to guide a decision and action. While the non-linear thinking is about preference using internal sources of info, such as a feeling or intuition, and process the information with internal insights or feelings. And the next one is about the decision making biases and error. When the manager come up with an idea or they want to make decision, they don't only use their particular styles. They also use the rules of thumb, which is a method of judging a situation or condition that is not exact but is based on their own experience. These rules are useful for helping, it can help us to make sense of complex, uncertain, and ambiguous info, but it's not really reliable, for it may lead to the error and biases in processing and evaluating the information. I will show you guys the 12 common decision of error, manager, and biases. The first one is about the overconfidence, and it about the decision maker who tend to think they know more than they do, or hold unrealistically positive views about themselves or about their performance. The next one is about the immediate gratification bias, which is occur when the decision makers tend to want anchor effects, which is about the demand decision fixates on initial information as starting points, then once set, fail to adequately adjust for subsequent information. The next one is about the selective perception, which occurs when the decision-making selectively organize and interpret the events on their biased perceptions. The next one is about the confirmation. When the decision maker who seek out information that refer their past choice and discounts info that contradicts past judgments. And the next one is about framing, which is about the decision maker who selects and highlights the certain aspect of a situation, which like while they are excluding the others. The next one is about the availability. While the decision maker is remember events that are the most recent and vivid in their memory. The next one is about the representation. When the decision maker assesses the likelihood of an event based on how closely it resembles other events or sets of events. Next one is about the randomness. It describes the action of decision maker who try to create meaning out the random events. And next one is about the sunk cost errors. It occurs when decision maker forgets that the current choice cannot correct the past. Next one is about self bias. It's about decision makers who are quick to take credit for their successes and to blame failure on outside factors. The next one is about hindsight bias. It's about a tendency for decision makers who falsely believe that they would have to accurately predict for the outcome of an event once that outcome is actually known. And the next part is about the overview of managerial decision making. The first step is about the decision making approach. Next step is decision making error and biases, and we must know what is this, and then we be aware of it. Next part is about the decision. The step number 4 is decision maker style, which is let us know how they make decisions. The next one is about decision making conditions. The last step is types of problems and decision. And as we may know that if we don't know what is the guideline, we cannot make an effective decision making. So I will show you guys some step of the guideline which help you to make decisions effectively and efficiently. The first one, we should understand culture differences if we are a manager. The next one is about create standard for good decision making. The next one is know when it is time to call it quits. The fourth step is about use an effective decision making process. And the last one is develop your ability to think clearly, because it allows us to have a good vision and go through everything right. as we may know that the way manager approach decision making using a rational and analytical mindset in identifying problems, coming with alternatives, and evaluating alternatives, and choosing one of the alternatives may not be the best and is certainly not the only choice into the environment. That is where the design thinking comes in. And I show decision thinking definition here is about the approaching management problems as designer approach design problems. And they said that they have to deal with big data. So what is the big data? The big data is the vast amount of quantifiable information that can be analyzed by highly sophisticated data processing. And at the end, I will introduce my teammate, whose name is Coulter, to continue to present.
So now let's come to the case application 1. First, I'll be briefly summarizing the case to let you know what it is about, and then comes the discussion question. So let's talk about the case. It's about Coca-Cola companies, or Coke for short, and it wants to double its business by building up the simply orange juice industry into a powerful global juice brand. In the making process, they have some problem. Luckily, with the help of Black Book, detailed data was given so that it is easier for Coke's managers and other employees to make their decisions. Now let's discuss the questions. The first question is, which decisions in this story can be considered as unstructured and structural problems? About the structural problems, it is getting into orange juice business, which is just new for Coca-Cola, and making simple orange juice can be considered as unstructured problems. Coke is famous for its soft drink, so now facing the juice making, it's really a big deal that Coke have to handle. And the Black Book model can be considered as the structural problems. By using Black Book, the Coke's manager can easily determine and produce the juice based on given instruction. So the second question is, how does Black Book help Coke's manager and other employees in decision making? Firstly, the Black Book includes more than 600 flavors in their algorithm, which is just far more than a normal brain can process. And secondly, it helps to blend batches of juice as well as tweak recipe. And last but not least, the Black Book includes data on external factors such as the weather patterns, the crop yields, or even other cost pressure. These information are vital and valuable for Coke's manager to plan, to lead, to organize, and control the organizations. The third question is, what does Coke's big data have to do with its goals? First, the Coca-Cola's goal is to produce a consistent orange juice all year round. And the process making is believed to have one quantity decisions. Luckily, the big data is known for quantifiable information that can be analyzed by highly sophisticated data process. Therefore, the big data make the goals of Coca-Cola seems to be more achievable. And the last question is, what is revenue analytics and how can it help the managers in decision making? The revenue analytic can be understood as the application of discipline analytics that can help with predicting the consumer behavior in the market, as well as optimizing the product availability and pricing to maximize the revenue growth. And how can it help the managers? It can help by selling the product to the customer at the right time for the right price. And furthermore, it can help by letting the managers know the customer perceptions about the product's value. So it's the end of my part. Now Cao will present the application too.
Hello teacher, my name is Kiet and I will continue our presentation by talking about my part, the management practice, and the first one is a manager's dilemma. Suppose I am a recruiter for a large retail chain and want to get college graduates from consider store management as a career option. I would do it by create job descriptions that are concise and specific in describing what the company needs and the results you seek from those applicants. Job descriptions should also speak to potential employees' passion and talents by detailing necessary skill sets and knowledge from them. This will help retailers to discover the applicants who is the best fit for the job. And to attract new employees, retailers should focus on turning their best and happiest employees into ambassadors of their employer brand. And the last one is they should embrace technology and digital strategies to meet the demands of the growing workforce. And the second part is about the global sense. There are about 5 questions that need to be answered. The first one is what issues might Dutch Telecom face in recruiting female university graduates? And my answer is, with that number and their commitment, increasing the number of women to 30% for senior business leadership possible would not be a position would not be impossible. And the company might have to deal with the issues that the company hasn't known about their performance yet, and the company can address those issues by making more strict and longer internship for further information about new employees to test their ability to work, and by introducing changes in work-family program, the company might come up with some issues that are the job performance might not be as expected because a mother has to accommodate their family responsibilities. As a result, it could limit the probability of their role in the company. And come to my solution. The company should shorten the time of working and create them a well-distributed desk job so they could have more time to take care of their family and their performance would not be affected. And having female leaders create less gender discrimination in recruitment, promotion and retention. That gives the company a better chance to hiring and keeping the most qualified people. And maybe the difference in the way men and women thinking could be seen as a reason. Generally, men are wired to take actions while women seem to carefully analyze a problem more. And a company with higher female presence at the senior management level tend to have higher reputation. And the last one, other organizations around the globe can learn from Deutsche Telekom that they could set a goal to increase the number of female managers in the future and working out solutions to deal with the new programs. And that's the end of my sections. Ngang will continue with the continuing case of.
Hello, so now we're moving to the continuing case, Starbucks. Starbucks was founded in 1971 in Seattle by Gordon Bauer, Jerry Baldwin, and Zig Siegel. In 1987, Howard Schultz bought it with $3.8 million. He is the president, the chairman, and the CEO of Starbucks. Today, there are more than 24,000 retail stores in over 70 countries. What management skills do you think would be most important for Howard Schultz to have and why? What skills do you think would be most important for a Starbucks store manager to have and why? In my opinion, conceptual skill would be most important for Howard Schultz because he had to plan and define goals to run this business, Starbucks company. For a store manager, technical skill would be the most important because he or she works directly with partners and all the tools at the shop. How might the following management theories or approaches be useful to Starbucks? Scientific management. This would help the company with increased productivity. Organizational behavior and systems approach. Concerns about working together as a group and harmony in the workplace is the most important thing. These two theories may be useful in attracting new talented partners, and the current partners work collaboratively and efficiently. Applying quantitative approach could help Starbucks decide which products it should continue to serve or what kind of food they should release based on customers' tastes and favor, etc. And as a result, they increasing their profit. Choose 3 of the current trends and issues facing managers today and explain how Starbucks might be impacted. What might be the implications for first-line managers, middle managers, and top managers? 3 trends are video marketing. Starbucks don't really have much video marketing, so this may be an advantage because there are so many videos which is really catchy for people who like drink coffee. So Starbucks maybe don't really into this. Second thing, customer focus organization. Starbucks success in many countries, but not every country is rich. For example, Vietnam. The problem might be the price or the taste or just because the Vietnamese people don't get used to it. So Starbucks need to work harder and do more research to achieve the success in this country. Finally, work-life balance. I think this is the problem that all middle managers need to find ways to improve this in order to increase productivity within employees. Give examples of how Howard Schultz may perform the interpersonal roles, the informational roles, and the decisional roles. Interpersonal roles, he has to dealing with suppliers or business partners. Informational roles, in 2000, he gave up being as a CEO, and after that event, the company started going down. So he had to collect information on why this happened to the company, and he figured out. And he back to be a CEO 1 year later. Decisional roles. After that, he decided to close all the stores, the Starbucks store, and retrain all the baristas on coffee experience. This is one of his decisional roles, which might sound crazy, but it helped the company success later. Look at Howard Schultz's philosophy of Starbucks. How will this affect the company it manages? We aren't in the coffee business serving people. We are in the people business serving coffee. This philosophy shows that Howard's company is customer-oriented. Managers care about how to serve customers as best as they can, and profit will be gained by increasing the number of customers. Go to the company's website and find the list of senior officers. Pick one of the positions and describe what you think that job might involve. Try to envision what types of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling this personnel would have to do. So this is Kelly, a store manager. She runs the store as if it is belong to her. From managing daily operations to taking responsibilities for financial results. Her job also includes spending time on the floor, connect with customers and her partners. By doing that, she could make plans and organize the shop better through feedbacks and complaints. Look up for the company's mission and guiding principles at the company website. What do you think of the mission and guiding principles? The Starbucks mission is to inspire and nurture the human spirit. One person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. From this mission, we can assume that Starbucks company cares more about customer experience rather than just drinking a cup of coffee. They want to serve customer not just a cup of coffee, but the experience and the feelings when they have a drink at Starbucks. Describe how this would influence how a barista at a local Starbucks store does his or her job, and describe how this would influence how one of the company's top executives do his or her job. A barista at a local shop would pay attention to the taste of the local customers, and new drinks can be created based on their favor. A top executive would invest in training partners so that they can perform at their best, invest in stores decoration to enhance customers' satisfaction. Starbucks has some pretty specific goal it wants to achieve. Given this, do you think managers would be more likely to make rational decisions, bounded rationality decisions, or intuitive decisions? And explain. Managers, in my opinion, would be likely to make intuitive decisions because developing new kinds of food or beverage needs to base on experience, the culture of the country, and different groups of customers. Give examples of decisions that Starbucks managers might make under conditions of certainty, uncertainty, and risk. Under condition of certainty, for example, open a new shop in USA because this company have their first store in USA, so they would have a lot of experience, so it is certain that they can gain profit. Under risk, release a new kind of drink. We need to do a lot of experiment on the customer's taste, so this might be a little bit risk. And under uncertainty, open their first shop in a new country. Because a new country, it means that they just do research in theories. They don't really have experience. So it can be uncertainty about the profit. decision maker does Howard Stewart appear to be, and explain. In my opinion, Howard appears to be a non-linear thinking style. For instance, he stepped out of the CEO in 2000, or decided to close all the US stores to retrain the baristas. This might sound a little bit crazy, but it will make in a non-linear way, and it leads to his success. Now, how might biases and errors affect the decision making done by Starbucks executives, by Starbucks store managers or partners? Overconfidence bias might affect Starbucks executives when they decide to expand their brand to a new country and result in failure. When making decisions, a store manager might affect by selective perception bias, therefore losing customers, so as to the partners. How might design thinking be important to a company like Starbucks? Tastes and favor of customers vary within countries and changes through time, so design thinking might be important. And in my opinion, design thinking of Howard Stewart is the time when he closed all the stores in 2000 and retrained all the baristas. This is one kind of design thinking, and it leads to his success today, so it is really important to the company.